What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Musa Gaming here, and today I'm here to introduce you to a new system that I'm implementing into my Discord called Musa's Murim. And I'm going to explain you a whole lot of stuff, but the point is that this is a new single strongest March per account rating system that I'm implementing within my Discord. And based on how strong your strongest March is, I'll be giving you a title within the Discord, as well as special key art for your account is the gist of it. So for those of you who are wondering what this is basically that. And I subtitled this A Journey to Find the Greatest of Rise of Kingdoms. And what is this? What is Murim? What is Murim? Why is Musa calling this a Murim to begin with? This is a worldview within the Korean webtoon universe inspired by an ancient Chinese martial arts world that homes many popular webtoons. So if you actually watch some of those like ancient Chinese martial arts world movies, it is heavily inspired by that. But then again, this was a Korean webtoons pivot to it, where they actually have different tiers of how strong you're within the martial arts world. And I'm actually taking all those tiers into the system so that I can rate each of those marches that are submitted to them. Because at the end of the day, you guys saw me during the live stream. When I do live stream, there'll be a lot of people who would actually reach out to me and, oh yeah, what do you think about my march? What do you think about my march and all that stuff? And then I'll be like, hey, like this looks all really, really good. But I felt like there needs to be some sort of standardization in all way possible so that I can kind of tell you, oh, you're actually this level and that's what I'll be doing within my Discord at the end of the day, is the gist. And the popular webtoons that you guys can look up that uses these kind of systems are Return of the Blooming Blade, which is Hazanggiwan, which is a very very famous webtoon, Korean webtoon. And also Nano Machine. Actually, more so Nano Machine system is actually implemented here rather than the Return of the Blooming Blade, because Return of the Blooming Blade doesn't really care about the Wellum system as much as Nano Machine does. But basically, those two are webtoons that you guys can look up whenever you guys want to find out more about the Buddhim stuff. But anyways, what will I do? What will Musa do? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record the strongest marches of the time, and then identify the hidden strongest marches as kosus, literally means masters in Korean, or martial arts world, in a standardized level system. And basically, once you actually submit, the process is going to be pretty simple. Once you actually submit your marches information to me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to level you at the realm that is appropriate to your march's strength, and then I'll give you a special card that will have the Wellum's name as well as your name at the bottom, and give it to you in the Discord channel at the end of the day. And if your march is actually strong enough to earn a special title, which I'll go over in a bit, then you will be able to actually earn yourself a special key art for your march that I'll be making with ChatGPT. I'm making everything with ChatGPT, but it looks pretty cool, right? It looks pretty cool, and then I'll send it over to you in the Kosu Hall, as well as a submission page at the end of the day, so that you can utilize this however you want, and also at the same time your key art, whether that is the Realm card or the custom title card, will actually be listed upon the ranking chart that I will be posting on that I'll be updating on bi-weekly or monthly basis as well. So yeah, so that's basically what you'll be getting. And how can you participate? All you gotta do is go to the Murim submission and then submit your equipment and armament setup that you have, as well as maybe the commander setup. But then again, the equipment setup will just basically tell me that if you have those commanders expertise or not. So that should be fine. And then once I actually receive this, I'll take a look at it to kind of view how strong the marches are, and then I'll actually reply you back with saying thank you so much for your submission. Based on the Musa's Buddhim standard, your march is considered XYZ level, Grandmaster entry in this case. And then here's an image of your March's top rank with your name on it. And then I'll go ahead and send you something like this along with your March's information. And then once you actually get yourself a special title, I'll actually put your name on the Gosu's Hall. And then that's where you'll be able to actually get your custom key art. As you guys can see, Prince Boom has already gotten one for himself by reaching the Grandmaster's peak level. And then that's basically where you'll be able to get it. And how is the marshes actually tiered? So at the lowest and the bottom tier slash realm, there is the rate realm, quote unquote. And then it actually goes from third rate, second rate to first rate. So the first rate is the strongest, and then the second rate is whatever, and then the third rate is actually the lowest. And this is a tier where it's actually appropriate for pre-seasonal conquest, appropriate tier march level. And then this actually encompasses everything that goes from blue equipment to legendary gear mix. So if you have a mix of blue and purple, then you'll be most likely the first rate, which is going to give you this key art right here. But if you have like what green and blue gear, then you're most likely going to be the third rate, which is going to be this key art right here. So that's how this one works. This realm works. But then again, the next realm is actually called the Master Realm, which is called Jeoljeong in Korean. And this is a pre-season conquest appropriate tier. This is a good tier that you can actually run in pre-season conquest and trade really, really well. And this means that you have full legendary gear level and then appropriate for rally or garrison for KVK1. So if you have full legendary equipment, obviously I think you are qualified to rally or garrison in KVK1, which is pretty standard, I would say, even without the accessories. So in this tier, I don't think the accessories are required, but yeah. So that's basically what the Master Realm is. And above Master Realm, there is also another realm called Grandmaster Realm, which is Chojeong. This is a unique title that is possible for full legendary for people with full legendary gear with appropriate rally or garrison setup that is basically appropriate in KVK3 or onward. So this may not be the most competitive season of conquest setup that can be rallied or garrisoned, but then again, it's still appropriate for KVK3 or KVK4 setup. So very, very strong setup. Strong Gosu realm, I would say. And this is actually once you reach the top tier of the Grandmaster realm, as each realm after the Grandmaster realm is actually divided into three different subsection, peak, which is the highest, proficient, which is the middle, and then the entry, which is lowest. If you actually reach the peak of Grandmaster, you'll be able to earn yourself a unique title that will get yourself a special key art like this. So that's basically what this tier is about. But this is where you can actually call yourself a little bit more of a Gosu than anything else. And yeah, this is actually a very exciting tier, I would say. And above that, there is also the Unrestrained Realm. And this is basically a seasonal conquest rally or garrison level tier. Most people will not be able to enter the Unrestrained Realm, in my opinion. But this is basically if you have full legendary gear and also 2 to 4 legendary inscriptions at the end of the day, and that's basically what Unrestrained Realm is. And then if you enter the Unrestrained Realm, you'll get yourself unlock yourself certain titles that is appropriate for yourself for reaching the Unrestrained Realm. That is going to be more broader than the titles that are earnable at the peak of Grandmaster, and each of peak, proficient, and entry will all be able to kind of earn yourself a special key or a special title as well as the key art in this tier. So very, very high tier. Most people won't be able to have an unrestrained realm, unrestrained realm march, but this is a very, very strong march. And above that, there's strong or profound realm, that is basically the standard where you kind of start saying, oh, your rally or garrison is OP, quote unquote. And this is when you have full legendary equipment and armaments with 36 to 34% stats level within the armaments, on top of, I think I forgot to mention it here, but full KVK legendary equipment mix. So if you don't have KVK Legendary Mix, unfortunately, you will have to stay in the Unrestrained realm. But if you have KVK Weapon and Helmet, and then the full Legendary gear with full iconic gear and weapon, well, full iconic and critted with horn and ring, that's the minimum that you'll have to actually reach for you to reach the profound realm. So that, yeah, this is where you start saying, okay, so your rally, your garrison is super overpowered. And the fact that you have to be at 36% or above in terms of the overall stats from attack, defense, and health, yeah, this is where you can see like the gods of Rise of Kingdoms kind of rise to this level. But this is not the final realm that I will be talking about today, as there is also the last realm that is above Profound Realm called Life and Death Realm. And this is literally the limit broken realm where the best equipment with the KVK set, four special inscriptions with 42% or above. So if you have 14% attack, 14% defense, 14% health, if you had something that would actually get better armament stats than that, that's when you can actually reach the life and death realm. So you guys might be wondering, how do you even reach that? There's a couple ways. For one, by having a ton of all damage, right? Most cases, all damage actually converts better than the health. And if you have almost maxed out attack and health, of attack and defense on top of having a ton of all damage, that would actually allow you to enter this life and death realm. Again, this is a realm that is not meant to be reached by that many people. Probably like 3 to 5 people will be able to reach it in Rise of Kingdoms right now. So yeah, so that's what this realm is, and through double inscriptions is also another way that you can reach it. If you have a double inscription on top of a special inscription that gives you all damage, then obviously this reaching this realm will be a lot easier and all that stuff. So that's basically the only way that you can reach it. Just for reference, my best march is actually a Profound Realm peak, which means that I have more than 40% of the stats. And then once I finish re-rolling my attack to the maximum stats, I think that's when I can technically be at the bottom of the life and death realm, which means that I have more than 42%, standard in the Davers calculation sheet at the end of the day. So this is basically where you start being like the strongest and the strongest of the Rise of Kingdoms at the end of the day. So yeah, so that's the life and death realm. And that's it in terms of everything that I have for you in terms of slides. Let's just go ahead and jump right into my Discord and then find out how it looks. So in this, as you guys can see, I actually submitted myself my second my not my second my Max Level Newbie account on Restart Projects gear right here. And then what I did was, oh well, thank you for submitting your march. And I gave it a rating of first rate, I believe. Yeah, first rate. And then I basically put your my or your name into the bottom to kind of make sure that you are recognized at that tier. And what I'll do, and I'll go ahead and return your the marches information so that everyone can kind of understand what kind of person would actually be in the first rate. What I'll do is I'll actually take that information and then take it to the Google Sheet right here. That is called Musa's Murim. And then you guys can see that I'll actually put myself at the first rate right here. And as you guys can see, some people have realized that there are some marches that have reached that they have submitted, and they have earned themselves some titles right here. And you guys can see that this was an example key art that I made when I was actually first designing this. So obviously the style is a little different, but my mains like number one march that I have is actually enough to reach a Profound Realms peak by reaching I think 41% equivalent by having 3.9% all damage, 6.7% health, and then 13.4% defense and 12.4% attack. Yeah, all in all combined together, I think that was about 41% equivalent because of the all damage. And that's where my main marches, main rally setup actually reaches. And then Sticky D Rice and the Spartan, and they're all kind of in that Murim's leaderboard at the end. So that's where this one slides. And then every now and then I'll go ahead and update this screenshot so that you guys get a better understanding of where everyone kind of stands periodically. So that's basically what this is. And then once you earn yourself a special title, like again, that's the rank that is at the peak of Grandmaster above, you'll earn yourself a special notion in the Murim's Gosu Hall with, again, custom key art along with your march at the end. And no one can actually write on this side except me, so you guys can kind of just see who are the greatest that has submitted their marches here at the end of the day. And I'll also mention it here on the submission board as well. So yeah, that's basically it as well. And also at the same time, you guys can see that if I click on Spartan, Spartan has earned himself an unrestrained realm role within the Discord. So if it shows up, if he's online, he'll actually show up like I am, as I am in the profound realm, and it is actually shown right here. So that's basically what this is in terms of this. Now let's go ahead and go back to that tier list. Let's go ahead and go to the Musa's ranking chart. And yeah, so this is where the chart is, and each chart actually explains what the exact requirement for you to reach these realms are. Let's just go ahead and zoom in a little bit. So let's go over each and every one of them. So third rate means that you have blue or purple equipment. That's fine, and everyone who has blue or purple equipments or below will be third rate, rated third rate into the realm. And then once you have purple and mix of legendary, that's when you can actually rank up to the second rate. And then when you reach first rate, that means you have purple and mix of legendary and fully expertise commander pairing. So that's actually up to first rate is actually very easy to kind of reach. I think first rate might be one of the stronger marches that you'll find in KVK1, especially with that expertise commander pairing requirement. So that's basically where that is. Then once you reach the master tier, that's when you have full legendary equipment with appropriate accessories and equipment. This means that you don't have to have yeah. So basically, you don't need to have KBK weapon or accessories or anything like that. But then again, you have appropriate accessories and equipment at the end of the day. When I mean by equipment, maybe I should change this. Non-accessory. Yeah, non-accessories. That's what I meant. So yeah, if you have purple accessories, I think that's fine. You can still be a master tier, but these are basically appropriate for slaughtering KBK1 at the end of the day. And once you enter Grandmaster tier, you get full legendary equipment with best in slot accessories with 2 to 3 crits or 5 plus iconic 2s. So this is where you actually start getting into crits and iconics, right? And at the peak level where the special title is actually given, you're at full legendary equipment with horn/ring or the best in slot accessories with critted iconic or critted plus iconic 2 or iconic 4 on all parts except ring and horn. I understand ring and horn accessories critting and as well as iconicing is really, really tough. So at the peak of Grandmaster, I think it is appropriate for you to actually have everything at iconic 2 or iconic 2 critted or iconic 4 except ring and horn is really appropriate. But yeah, this is a tier that actually earns yourself a special title, so it has to be really tough to reach for most people. But yeah, so that's where the Grandmaster's Peak is, and above Grandmaster's Peak, it actually earns yourself a title, and then based on the title that you choose, and this is something that I can go over and share with the process with. For example, let's see. For Spartan, I actually suggested him 3 different titles that is appropriate for his tier. And then he actually chose one. He chose this one right here, right? So that's when I actually, make the card. I made 3 different cards, but then again, the one that he chose is the one that I actually gave him. and then it is actually divided by different factions depending on the design as well as the title itself. And for example, for Sticky actually chose the one that was for the Forces of Justice faction, which is more for like the righteous fighters and all that stuff for his Unrestrained Realm card. Whereas I think the card that what's his name? Spartan actually chose, which was Bloody Dragon, which ends with a Bloody Dragon suffix, is actually the non-mood infection. So each time that I do suggest you different kind of titles, the design is actually based on the factions that I randomly choose from. So choose wisely, as you'll be divided into those factions as you end. And this card right here that I made previously was actually more meant for Heavenly Divine Demon Cult, which is the Heavenly Demon, I think, title, the Chunma title. So yeah, so that's basically what is possible. And I'll go over in a bit what kind of titles are possible in the other side as well. And then yeah, and then the Unrestrained Realm again is Seasonal Conquest, Rally your Garrison level. And then Profound Realm is basically the Seasonal Conquest OP, Rally your Garrison level. And then the Life and Death Realm is just the God tier level that I explained earlier. Now, this actually the second title, a second tab of this Murim's the spreadsheet that you'll be able to find in the ranking chart. Again, this is all public, I think, for view at the very least. It has Rise of Kingdoms equivalent ranking at like Murim Realm explained, as well as the Rise of Kingdoms equivalent equipment and armament requirement. But also at the same time, it also gives you the title that is possible each year. You guys can see that at Grandmaster Peak, you're allowed a weapon suffix or a animal title. So, for example, the title that I gave for Prince Boom, it is Heavenly Blades or Swords. That title actually is from the fact that he can actually earn himself a weapon suffix or animal suffix title within the Grandmaster Peak tier. So that there's only a certain level that there's a certain level that you have to reach for you to get yourself a special title that is ending with certain suffixes, basically. So as you guys can see, the Unrestrained Realm, you can actually earn yourself a Dragon and Phoenix title, and that's where both Sticky and Spartan got his titles, right? These all end in Dragon titles. So, and you guys can see that within the key art themselves, they have dragons sitting in the background too. And then as you kind of go over to the Profound Realm, you can earn yourself a King title, Lord title, Celestial title, and then the God title. So yeah, as you kind of reach higher realms, you guys can always update your title to have a different title with appropriate suffixes or prefixes and whatnot at the end of the day. And last things, you can only update your Murim submission once per month. So if you already updated for Prince Boom and the Sticky Rise, they'll have to wait until next month actually starts for them to update their rank or title at the end of the day. If you don't like your title, I can always give you another title. But then again, usually I wouldn't imagine that would be the case given that I'll be giving you 3 different titles, and also the fact that you can actually get yourself a new title once you reach a higher realm at the end of the day. So yeah, that's it in terms of everything that you need to know about the changes that I made to my Discord channel. I hope you guys actually enjoyed today's video. And yeah, it is the official launching announcement of my new system that I just explained. So feel free to just go at it, get on the Murim submission and submit your best marches, and then get yourself a title or a ranking card at the end of the day. And then get yourself ranked in the Murim's ranking chart, so that you can kind of understand where your march stand among the strongest that have joined within my Discord. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please go ahead and drop me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And as always, guys, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.